this is the second part of the session we started few days back. So in my last video, we have talked about unit 1, 2, 3. Now we are going to talk about unit 4, 5 and so on, right? So all my students are going to join this video. Thank you so much for being live with me. I will try to greet you once again. Namaste, Sasrikal, Assalamu alaikum, Kemcho, and also all in different languages. So good to see you all. And in this video, we are going to discuss the syllabus of UGC-NET English, one of the toughest exam of India. UGC-NET English is toughest for two reasons. First, the syllabus is not fixed. Second, the books are not available in market. In most of the universities in post graduation, they don't teach. बहुत सारी यूनिवर्सिटीज, स्टेट यूनिवर्सिटीज में आप देखेंगे कि वहां पे वो चीजें पढ़ाई ही नहीं जाती हैं. एक स्टूडेंट 2 साल एमए करता है. यू स्टडी फॉर 2 years इन योर पोस्ट ग्रेजुएशन एंड देन व्हेन यू गो टू फेस द एग्जाम यू फील लाइक दैट आई हैव नॉट इवन हर्ड इट. ये तो मैंने सुना ही नहीं, ये कहां से आ गया. सो आई स्टार्टेड फ्रॉम द विलेज, गांव से. मुझे भी लगता था क्या पूछ रहे हैं, कहां से पूछ रहे हैं, कहां से पढ़ना है. लेकिन आज 10 बार नेट क्वालिफाइड हूँ. और मैं इसलिए भी बोल रहा हूँ क्योंकि ये जो हमारा थंबनेल है, हमारे डिपार्टमेंट में जिसने भी आज ये थंबनेल एडिट किया, इस थंबनेल में लिखा है मैं 8 बार नेट हूँ. तो उन्होंने गलती कर दिया क्योंकि इतनी मेहनत से 2 बार और हुआ है भाई, पढ़ना पड़ता है. 10 बार नेट हूँ भाई, 8 बार नहीं हूँ. सो with this knowledge of 10 time nets, I'm going to tell you the syllabus of UGC NET. Those who are going to watch this video for first time, watch my first video. There I have talked about unit 1, unit 2 and 3 respectively, poetry, drama and fiction. Today we finished the poetry of Thomas Hardy in offline batch. We were talking about that how Thomas Hardy and his poetries have been praised by Philip Larkin, T.S. Eliot, W.B. Yeats, Auden and Dylan Thomas. Why these poetries have a different sense and how these poetries are also one of the first modern poetries. Along with that thing, in this video, we are going to talk about chapter 4, unit 4. That is non-fictional prose, non-fictional prose. So all my students, they are here. Sabhi ko namaste, Prerna Joshi, Pranam, kaise hain aap? Vishal. I also had a one-to-one interaction with Palakshi. Palakshi is one of my student, and Palakshi, please write some hello so that they can see you. Toshi has a good question. Toshi says, how do you remember all these names? See the dark spots. So I also had one of my first one-to-one interaction video with Palakshi. She has written good evening, and what I really appreciated, I loved about her was that she was not an ordinary student that just read literature, syllabus पढ़ लो. पालाक्षी से बात करने के बाद she has written hello everyone. पालाक्षी से बात करने के बाद मुझे एक चीज क्लियर हुई कि पालाक्षी के पास लिटरेचर का नॉलेज जो है वो इन डेप्थ है. Actually she understands what is literature. So all my students who are watching it right now, I want to tell you this thing. Don't read things for the sake of reading. सिर्फ पढ़ने के लिए मत पढ़ो, समझने के लिए पढ़ो, अप्लाई करने के लिए पढ़ो. योर ब्रेन शुड बी स्टॉर्म्ड. यू मस्ट थिंक एंड यू मस्ट ट्राई टू फाइंड आउट मोर एंड मोर. You know, whatever you study, whatever you learn, it should actually inspire you to find out more things, more knowledge, study and even question those things. तो मेरे सारे जितने भी स्टूडेंट्स हैं, आप लोग आ गए हो. इससे पहले हम सेशन स्टार्ट करें, बिफोर वी स्टार्ट द सेशन आई वुड आस्क यू टू गो फॉर अ लाइक. एक वीडियो को अच्छे से लाइक कर दो क्योंकि एक खास बात आपको बताने वाला हूं. तो जल्दी से लाइक करो. जैसे लाइक होगा एक खास बात बताऊंगा. गेटिंग इट स्टार्टेड? गुड. ओके, अभी रुक गया है. सो लेट्स गो फॉर द खास बात. ओके, गेटिंग. Come on guys. This important thing that I'm going to tell you, that I'm going to share with you, is going to help you in exam. So we have got enough likes. Thank you who have liked, thank you who did not like, no problem. Now the important thing is that I have an update, and the update is that your forms, UGCNET forms, will be announced by 15th of October. Most probably day after tomorrow it will be in the news. So check it. 15 अक्टूबर तक फॉर्म्स आ जाएंगे. Normally they give you 25 days, so maybe 10th November was the last date by Diwali to fill the forms. Don't miss that, okay? Now let's go for the chapter 4. All my students, I welcome you once again. Let's go for it. So let's go for it. Chapter 4, non-fictional prose. Now, do you know this thing that this is the new updated syllabus? In new updated syllabus, they have added non-fiction. What is non-fiction? So whenever you talk about non-fiction, and if you are studying from basic sources, so they will say that any fiction which is not a story, which is not a poetry, which is not a novel, which is not a drama, they are all non-fiction. The moment you use the word fiction, it means it is not real, fictionalized. Then we have historical fiction, some history, some fiction. Then we have metafictional, fiction about fiction. Then we have multiple types of fictions, you know. Now, the question is, what is non-fiction? जब भी आप नॉन फिक्शन की बात करोगे पढ़ने की, सबसे पहले लोग बोलेंगे डायरी राइटर्स. ओके, नो डाउट नॉन फिक्शन का पार्ट है. देन ऑटोबायोग्राफिकल राइटिंग्स भी कई बार फिक्शन और नॉन फिक्शन के बीच में क्लियर नहीं होता. समटाइम्स पीपल विल से, इवन इफ यू गूगल इट, दे विल से डायरीज, ऑटोबायोग्राफिकल राइटिंग्स, ट्रैवलॉग्स. आप ट्रैवल कर रहे हो, यू आर राइटिंग समथिंग, दैट इज देयर. या आपने कल्चरल क्रिटिक लिखा है, और एनी वर्क ऑफ क्रिटिसिज्म, एनी थियोरिटिकल वर्क, कोई थ्योरी का वर्क है, कोई क्रिटिसिज्म का वर्क है, कोई एसेज यू हैव रिटन सम एसे, यू हैव रिटन सम आर्टिकल, pamphlets, tracts, comments, reviews, memoirs, all these things are the part of non-fiction. ठीक है? So technically anything which doesn't have the fictionalized details. But this is where you make mistake. यहाँ पे आप गलती करने वाले हो, my dear friends. गलती करने वाले हो. Why? Because autobiography and diary are not called purely non-fiction thing. Suppose a boy is in love with a girl, and the boy writes a personal diary, or a girl writes a personal diary. That cannot be realistic. It has imaginations, it has dreams to have a happy life together, it can have songs. So all the diaries cannot be called non-fiction. Point number one. Second thing, autobiographical writings. No, my dear friends, autobiographical writings can be fake. If you think somebody has written autobiography, and autobiography is a blunt fact or truth about somebody's life, it can be wrong. Autobiography जरूरी नहीं है. आपको you seriously think अमिताभ बच्चन की ऑटोबायोग्राफी अमिताभ बच्चन ने खुद लिखी है, कपिल देव की ऑटोबायोग्राफी कपिल देव ने खुद लिखी है, या सचिन की अगर ऑटोबायोग्राफी है तो सचिन खुद लिख रहा है? You seriously think so? आपको लगता है उनके पास टाइम है? Do you really think? We have a student from Tamil Nadu also. We have 3 students in class in Tamil Nadu, from Tamil Nadu. Do you really think these big shots, they actually write their own autobiography? They are having literary ideas and they just want to pen it down? Many of them don't even have the confidence that they can write. Autobiographies वो नहीं लिखते हैं. They have freelancing writers. किसी को भी 2 लाख रुपया देंगे. They'll give 2 lakh rupees to someone, that freelancing writer who has done graduation and post graduation in English literature. They write, वो लिखते हैं. But yes, they do some interviews. Sir, please tell me about your childhood. Oh, okay. Painful. Okay. Sir, please tell me about your college life. Oh, broken heart. Okay. The autobiographies are written by keeping people in mind. सपोज देयर इज अ ग्रेट सेलिब्रिटी, कोई बड़ी सेलिब्रिटी है, वो आपको अपनी ऑटोबायोग्राफी में कभी कुछ ऐसा नहीं बताएगा. ही विल नेवर राइट एनीथिंग इन द ऑटोबायोग्राफी दैट कैन एक्चुअली क्वेश्चन हिज रेपुटेशन. कभी नहीं लिखेंगे. सो ऑटोबायोग्राफी कैन नॉट बी कॉल्ड प्योरली अ नॉन फिक्शन. ऑटोबायोग्राफीज आर फिक्शनलाइज्ड. हाफ अ लाइफ, गेट अ लाइफ, माई 80 एडवेंचर ईयर्स, they are all autobiographies, but they can be fictionalized. If you didn't know this point, like the video, keep liking it. Itself cannot be called non-fiction. Memoirs are the memory-based thing. You know, guidebooks क्या करती हैं? Market guidebooks. They say that okay, we are giving you previous year questions, but then they secretly write this thing Memory based question. Do you know why they write memory based question? Because they themselves have no idea. उनको खुद नहीं पता है PYQs कहाँ हैं. To keep themselves safe from legal issues, they write it memory based questions, PYQs. Why are you saying PYQs if you're saying memory based? And who actually remembers all the questions? Nobody. So memoirs itself are not trusted one and in a fictionalized way, non-fiction way. So memoirs are also not purely non-fictional. Now, what is purely fictional? Non-fiction. Purely non-fiction. Essays. Charles Lamb has written all informal essays and they are fictionalized. No non-fiction. Then De Quincey writes informal style. I did my study on essays, so I know them. Some writers are there, they have written non-fiction, like Hilary Belloc, G.K. Chesterton, Francis Bacon. They were not that much informal, but still. Now, one of you has written prose. There are prose satires. The Holy War by John Bunyan is prose Paradise Lost. Prose also has fiction. Novel has a prose. Short story has prose. So prose is also fictionalized. It is also not the part of non-fiction. Where is your knowledge now? All got questioned. You said, ये वाला non-fiction, वो वाला non-fiction. नहीं पता था ना? That's actually happen when you go to exam. जब आप exam में जाते हो ना, तो वहाँ पे ये चीज़ें आती हैं. Now, Delhi University level, as I've taught in University of Delhi, मैं दिल्ली यूनिवर्सिटी पढ़ाता था तो अब आपको बताता हूँ. Expository non-fiction आता है, creative non-fiction आता है, descriptive non-fiction आता है, and along with these things, there are multiple types of non-fictions. Narrative non-fiction is one of those fictions. Browsable non-fiction is the part of latest studies. ऐसे 7 और हैं that I will teach you, don't worry. Now, so what you have to read this, I'll introduce you. Introduction पढ़ो non-fiction writing का, types of non-fiction पढ़ो, non-fiction in various literature के जो ages हैं, इनको पढ़ो and make a list of 50 non-fiction books. Then we go for chapter 5, unit 5. I've taught about non-fiction. Remember, not everybody knows that much and I've explained it. आपके लिए non-fiction explain भी किया है मैंने. It can be a very good answer in your PhDs where you can tell people that all the non-fictions cannot be non-fictions. Did you know the difference between autobiography and confessional writing? Autobiography sometimes has planned way of narration. Suppose if I have to write autobiography about how I became Vineet Pandey, why would I write something bad about me which will make you hate me? I will write good things. I used to study 15 hours. I never took rest. I never take holiday. I never took off. I was always devoted to work. I will write that. But the confessional writing would say, I hated literature. I never wanted to be a teacher, but I became. Some autobiographies have sensational points because the writers, the paid writers, sometimes they also tell the celebrities that, sir, please write something sensational. Otherwise, people won't believe. So they say, okay, write down 2 comments for another person, reveal 2 secrets, and then the autobiographies are sold. Confessional writings are more trustworthy because confessional writing actually goes against the person. Kamala Das, one of the finest writers, we have many other writers also in confessional writings, just like Kamala Das. She talked about her open relationship, extramarital relationship, her sexual desires, the physical intimacy, the need of that, all those things was openly talked. Kamala Das simply wrote that my affair, the male partner, we were standing naked in front of the mirror. While he was proud of his muscles and limbs, he was looking at my feeble body. These kind of narration, India was not ready. So these kind of confessional poetries or confessional writings. But remember, confessional poetry is fiction. Confessional writing in prose can be called completely non-fiction because they are just telling the truth. So truth is non-fiction, right? The cultural criticism, the theories, or the articles, or the studies, or the reviews are non-fiction. Now, let's go for chapter 5. Language, basic concepts, theories, and pedagogy. I have my notes here, I'm using it. लैंग्वेज चैप्टर 5 लैंग्वेज बेसिक कॉन्सेप्ट्स लैंग्वेज की बेसिक कॉन्सेप्ट्स theories pedagogy and English in use. This is actually the portion where you have to talk about linguistics. I ask a question, how many of you actually know the Hindi meaning of linguistics? What is Hindi of linguistics? Come on, you have your time. Those who know the answer also like it. How many of you know the Hindi meaning of linguistics? Don't Google, answer me. Google नहीं करना, cheating नहीं करना है. No cheating. We are champions, we can learn, right? Try, think about it. Waiting for the answer. One is getting भाषा विज्ञान. भाषा विज्ञान नहीं है, it's शब्द विज्ञान. हाँ मतलब ठीक है, लैंग्वेज के लिए बोल सकते हैं भाषा विज्ञान, शब्द विज्ञान, ठीक है, good. But why only 3? 87 students are live. Why only 3? It was a short notice. Now tell me this thing. In linguistics, do you know how the language comes to you? When I called the Japanese professor in my offline batch. Remember the Japanese professor? I was talking to him, I was learning, I was interacting. That Japanese professor taught me in the conversation. You know, while I was having a conversation, a candid conversation over lunch, I felt I should have carried a book. कॉपी. मेरा बार बार मन कर रहा था यार पेन पेपर लेके आना चाहिए था यार, ये बंदा मुझे दोबारा नहीं मिलेगा, पता नहीं. You know what did he say? Linguistic or the language in which we speak is not the first language. Who will define it? Yesterday I explained this in class. If I'm talking to you, I'm speaking in my words, in my language, right? This is not the first language. Which one is the first language? Which one is the first language? You will understand only if you want to prepare yourself to Delhi University and JNU level. अगर दिल्ली यूनिवर्सिटी JNU लेवल तक पढ़ना है, समझना है, तो फिर दिमाग लगाना पड़ेगा. बताओ. No प्रेरणा, not poo-poo theory. No. Talking about the first language. What is the first language? Not the language that I use, I'm speaking. No. ना मदर टंग है, ना मारवाड़ी है, ना फर्स्ट लैंग्वेज हिंदी है. नो. दिस इज व्हाट वी कॉल लर्निंग. आई लर्न इट फ्रॉम जापानीज प्रोफेसर. उन्होंने मुझे बताया एंड मेरा मुंह ऐसे खुला था. माय गॉड, मैंने ये क्यों नहीं सोचा? व्हाई आई डिडंट नो अबाउट दिस? व्हाई आई डिडंट थिंक अबाउट दिस? You know, remember he gifted me a book. That book was of like 8,000, 9,000. He gifted me that. There it has it's a chapter. The first language is the language of the mind which doesn't have a language. Repeating once again. The first language is the language of the mind which doesn't have a language. कौन समझा? Who understood? जो समझ गया वो JRF के लेवल पे तैयारी करेगा. Those who are not able to understand, try to understand. The language of the mind which doesn't have a language. Language of the mind which doesn't have a language. Yes, Palakshi, Japanese professor की जो book है ना, that was 8,800 rupees. He gifted it to me with his autograph. Imagine कितना knowledge होगा. Why that book is very costly. Imagine 10 बार नेट क्वालिफाइड को in his conversation he taught many things. In his conversation he taught many things. Imagine what is the size of literature. I still have, I'm just drinking the drops. It's an ocean. Okay, now see. The language, when you speak something, when I'm speaking in English और मैं जब हिंदी में बोलता हूँ, my thought gets arranged here. It gets arranged here. So the mind arranges the thoughts in an order and then I speak. So the thought gets developed. The thought, then language helps it and I speak. यू नॉट एबल टू हेयर मी राइट? नहीं आवाज आ रही थी? यू मस्ट हैव थॉट अरे आवाज चलेगी, आवाज चलेगी, आवाज चलेगी. So I'm not using language. I am keeping mum. Without speaking, I have my language. It's here. Language यहाँ है. It's here. Vishal got it. Sign language. I'm playing, teasing, dancing. But without speaking also I'm speaking, because the first zero language comes here. We give it a social linguistic structure. It becomes language. 10 लोगों को लाइक और करना है. कम ऑन, अगर समझ में आए तो, नॉलेज की वैल्यू हो और पढ़ाने का तरीका अच्छा लगे तो लाइक करना. चलो गाइस, आई रियली विश मैं इसमें पढ़ा सकूं. यू नो आई मस्ट टेल यू दिस थिंग. ब्रिटिश हिस्ट्री पढ़ाना इज नॉट माई क्वालिटी. दैट इज ओके, आई टीच. आई जस्ट लव द लेटेस्ट थिंग्स. वो पढ़ाने का मजा है. सोचो, यू डोंट नीड हिंदी स्पीक, यू डोंट नीड हिंदी, तमिल, इंग्लिश. यू कैन कीप योर मम speak. It means language gets here. It is the first language. Second language that you apply with language, if we call it first language, then this language is the zero language. Clear? Take the screen videos. बता देना कि हमारे विनीत सर पढ़ पढ़ के पागल हो गए हैं. 10 बार नेट कर करके सर पगला गए हैं. अब देखो, बिफोर वी गो फॉर 6th यूनिट, आपको 5 मिनट में बताता हूं पढ़ना क्या क्या है. सो इन 5th यूनिट, फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल यू मस्ट रीड लैंग्वेज डेफिनेशंस क्या है, व्हाट इज लैंग्वेज, टाइप्स ऑफ लिंग्विस्टिक, हिस्टोरियो लिंग्विस्टिक क्या है, सोशियो लिंग्विस्टिक क्या है, और बहुत सारे और तरीके से होते हैं. आपने जैसे सोशियो लिंग्विस्टिक में आपको एक्सप्लेन कर देता हूं इन अ फनी वे. देयर वर 2 पीपल, देयर वर 2 फ्रेंड्स, 2 पीपल. ठीक है, दे गो टू अ विलेज. 2 लोग, 2 people, 2 friends, they go to a village. They start a business, a shop. So they are talking to each other that, brother, we must make friends in village. He said, yes brother, we should make friends in village. Okay, what should I do? Then another one says, come with me. Both of these friends, they go to a house, a nearby house. There is a man, he is crying. They say, why are you crying? He says, I have lost my mother. The friend who was teaching, he says, please don't cry. She was not only your mother. वो सिर्फ आपकी माँ नहीं थी, मेरी भी माँ थी, गांव की भी माँ थी. She was everybody's mother. Please don't cry. And other people liked it. Good social relations. Second friend learnt it, got it. Oh, I should speak like that. I should cry like that. After 2 days, he found another man crying. Why are you crying? I lost my wife. Oh, brother, she was not only your wife. She was my wife. She was his wife, his wife. She was the wife of the village. Please don't cry. And he got beaten up. What's the difference? When one of them goes और बोलता है रो मत, तुम्हारी माँ नहीं पूरे गांव की माँ थी, people are emotional. Another one says तुम्हारी बीवी नहीं थी पूरे गांव की बीवी थी. Why? What's the difference? ग्रामर सेम है, हिंदी इंग्लिश मैंने जो बोला है, कोई भी भाषा मान लो, लैंग्वेज इज सेम, ग्रामर इज सेम, बट व्हाट्स द डिफरेंस? दिस इज कॉल्ड सोशियो लिंग्विस्टिक. योर लैंग्वेज इन अ पर्टिकुलर सोशल स्ट्रक्चर, इट शुड बिहेव अकॉर्डिंगली. आप क्या, ग्रामर आने का मतलब ये नहीं है कि कहीं भी कुछ भी बोल दो. दिस इज कॉल्ड सोशियो लिंग्विस्टिक. देन हिस्टोरिकल लिंग्विस्टिक भी होता है, हिस्ट्री बेस्ड है. देन आओ विद जेंडर बेस्ड लिंग्विस्टिक्स भी होता है. देयर आर सो मेनी अदर थिंग्स. सो यू हैव टू गो फॉर दीज थिंग्स, टाइप्स ऑफ लिंग्विस्टिक्स. देन द लैंग्वेज थ्योरी. व्हाट इज लैंग्वेज थ्योरी? I give you a line, write down this line. JRF करना है ना मेरी तरह, मैं 2 बार JRF हूँ, डबल JRF. Write down this line. अरे वाह, विशाल has given the line, बहुत बढ़िया. Colorless green ideas sleep furiously. Write down this line. Vishal, please write it again so that they can see. Colorless green ideas sleep furiously. Question of net exam. ये question भी है. Colorless green ideas sleep furiously. What is the meaning? What is the meaning? Colorless green ideas. One of our JRF candidate, Raghav Gupta, one of our NET candidate and Rajasthan said they all have joined us. बताओ, colorless green ideas sleep furiously. What does that mean? क्या मतलब है इसका? बहुत बहुत आशीर्वाद आपको डियर सर. What does that mean, Palakshi? What does that mean? Colorless green ideas sleep furiously. Meaning क्या है? कहना क्या चाहता राइटर? What does he want to say? Colorless green ideas sleep furiously. What is the grammatical meaning? And also tell me if it is grammatically wrong. Is it grammatically wrong? Is it grammatically wrong? क्या उसकी ग्रामर खराब है, गलत है? Is it really wrong? If not, then why this line doesn't have any meaning? So it is just a line which is grammatically correct but doesn't make any meaning. So once again, a linguistic structure will always need a social context. If in a social context the linguistic structure doesn't find its meaning, it's not a language at all. This is also called speech act theory by J.L. Austin. इसे speech act theory भी कहा जाता है. Any speech which is not being followed by an action is not a speech at all. Bhartrihari, the greatest Indian scholar, calls it the Sphota Siddhant. This theory is also called Sphota Siddhant. Last to last net question. Remember that. तो आपको ये सब पढ़ना है. Then language acquisition theories पढ़नी है, sandwich technique पढ़ना है, then poo-poo theory, dada theory, lala, yo hi ho. These are the theories. जो आपको सारी theories पढ़नी है. इसके बाद आपको methods and approaches देखने हैं. What is contrastive rhetoric method? What is computer assisted language learning? What is TBL, task based language learning? Then what are the umbrella terms? IELTS, nanny, TOEFL, BA, BE. These kind of terminologies. This is actually one of the toughest one. It's not that easy. ये एक unit है which is not actually easy for the students because normally हमारे universities में students को ये चीज़ें नहीं पढ़ाई जाती हैं. They are not being taught these things in the universities and then they have to face. So that's really problematic. Then we have chapter 6. Chapter 6 is English in India, history, evolution and future. So first thing here we have is history of English, how English comes to India. Who are the first people who introduced English to India? When English got the part of Indian, became the part of Indian education. So उससे पहले उर्दू का क्या हुआ, संस्कृत का क्या हुआ? जैसे बनारस संस्कृत कॉलेज था, दिल्ली was having Urdu college. Then what is Butler English? What is Babu English? Then what is Hinglish? What is chutneyfication? Then the idea of Kapil Kapoor sir. Kapil Kapoor sir has done a great study of English. ये सब पढ़ना है. Along with that आपको और terminologies पढ़नी है. There is called World English. एक World English भी होती है. Then English has 3 circles. So these 3 circle is like inner circle, outer circle, expanding circle. Last net exam question. बहुत आसान question था. फिर आपको language formulas है. Then future of English in India. Then all these things related to it. ये सारे चीज़ें आपको पढ़नी पड़ेंगी. They are all there. Well, English in India is not tough if you have the material because they don't ask unexpected question. Now, what are we going to add here? In Rajasthan set exam, they asked a lot of questions. One question was asked that I could not find. एक question ऐसा था जो मुझे एक किताब में मिला और सिर्फ एक किताब में और कहीं नहीं मिला और वो 6,000 प्लस रुपए की किताब थी. तो राजस्थान सेट has many questions of English in India that I will be preparing all the students who need it. तो ये सारी चीजें आपकी वहां पे हो जाएंगी. Then comes chapter 7 culture studies, chapter 8 literary criticism and chapter 9. These 3 they can be taught in connection. Yes, that was 13,000 Prerna. I made a video. So we are not going for culture studies now. The video is already long. So culture studies, because culture studies is a new topic, it has many other subparts, so I need a proper narration. So the next part of this video, I will talk about culture studies, literary criticism, literary theory, and I will try to sum up the chapter 10 also, maybe in the second next video. Now please remember this point. First, who are watching this video for the first time, it has part 1. So check my channel, you'll find out second or third video. It has part 1, this is part 2. Then maybe within 2 to 3 days, I'll be uploading part 3. There I'll be talking live. Now, one more thing that I want to tell you, that if you need any help, if you want to prepare for UGCNET classes, the fresh batch will start from 10th October. Present batch last date is 30th September. अगर अभी ज्वाइन करना है तो 30 सितंबर लास्ट डेट है. नया बैच ज्वाइन करना है, वांट टू ज्वाइन द न्यू एंड फ्रेश बैच 10th अक्टूबर. टिल देन नमस्ते, और पढ़ाई करते रहो, टाइम टेबल बनाओ, रिवीजन करते रहो. Even in my offline batch, I have seen this thing that they have studied a lot. They have studied a lot, but they are not able to revise. So make sure you revise. The more you revise, the more you recall, you will be able to crack the exam. Revision पे focus करो. If you are studying for 6 hours, keep 2 hours only for revision. 2 घंटे per day revision. Then 1 week. Once the week is done, keep 1 day only for revision. Revise everything. Then once you are done with a month, keep revising of everything. Keep 1 day and revise everything. Do skimming. And if you are not able to recall things, don't get pressurized. अगर याद नहीं हो रहा है, घबराओ मत, अपनी ड्यूटी पूरी करो. ये मत सोचो मुझे याद नहीं हो रहा है. Just keep revising. Do your duty. Don't expect the result that okay, you will remember it tomorrow. It's okay. Because if you don't remember it tomorrow, you have a lot of pain and pressure. Just do your duty. Keep doing your duty. Have faith in God. Be focused. And when you revise it, it should be focused attention. It should not be with mobile phone, music in the background, talking to people and you're revising. No. Revision should be pure revision. Perfect revision. So whatever you revise, it should get here. And when it gets here, you just keep revising. Repeat it again. Revise, repeat, revise, repeat. करत करत अभ्यास जड़मती होत सुजान, रसरी आवत जात पाथर पड़त निशान. तो एक रस्सी भी कुएं के पत्थर को काट देती है, निशान छोड़ देती है. तो हम तो पढ़ रहे हैं, ये तो दिमाग हमारा बहुत तेज है. With this message, thank you so much. Share the video with everyone and share your comments. Thank you so much. Good night.